This is Grant with State of the Spark. As promised, we have a special live AMA with Austin Rikley, not with a C. I misspelled his name for some of the announcements out there, so forgive me for that. But we're having a chat with Austin for several reasons, and so some context here. Austin has been just a supporter of what we've been doing in State of the Spark, small community. I haven't even been in a few days, and we have a small Discord community, but Austin's always kind of been encouraging him in a group. And one day he tugged my shirt and said, "Hey, let's go hang out and talk real quick." And he mentioned this idea, which was a pain that I was experiencing big time. And we were even on a call yesterday with a friend, Jarrett, who said, "I have a major beef with Discord for these reasons." And Austin's idea was simple enough, but like the problem was broad enough, experienced by a lot of people, that we decided to talk further. So we invested just a small amount, and he's been able to navigate building this software that's going on Discord, and we're gearing up for a go live date, right? I mean, that's coming up soon.
Yeah, I mean, we could potentially be going live tonight. So
You think it could go live by tonight?
yeah, we've got a few little bugs and little quick fixes that we need to figure out, and we could go live tonight.
Wow. Well, for those of you who are bopping in and out of the show, and we see some faces there of some people coming in and out of the show, feel free to submit your comments or your questions wherever you're finding this video, if it's on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, and we'll get those comments and we'll field questions. And we're here with Austin. He's made himself available in spite of trying to go live by tonight, to be able to answer just questions about what it's like to start a startup, what it's like to have some of those highs and lows, what are some of the challenges he's faced, and how he's navigating the big capital M marketing, which we've been talking a lot about. So, I mean, even since we spoke yesterday, you have new partnerships going on. What's the latest update on the marketing front?
Well, we've started talking with a lot of different projects. So we're talking, most recently, we've been talking with Liquid Capital and the two founders of both Titano and Great Finance for a partnership. So that's kind of our big one. They've got, between all those servers, there's about 80,000 members. So that's quite a huge market to hit. And Liquid Capital has already 37 partner servers.
37 partner servers.
So that's quite insane. And so it's an amazing partnership to be able to start capitalizing on. And we're still ironing out all the details, but I'm quite excited for that to really come to fruition.
Now, what are you most exhausted with? What has been the most exhausting part of being a first-time founder?
I will say the marketing's been a challenge. It's especially because of how the product works. There's a lot of door-to-door sales right now, knocking on Discord server owners' doors and saying, "Hey, would you be interested in doing a partnership? Like, I've got this bot." And a lot of people are kind of hesitant, and also trying to protect the product so people don't try to rip me off, because that's kind of something that does happen in the crypto and NFT space a lot. But also kind of giving them enough to get them excited about it. And so that's been a really challenging experience. I think beta testing's also been quite a headache. We've been beta testing for the last week or so, and figuring out where all these bugs are coming from has been quite the challenge as well.
You know, it's funny, like, for those who have been working in software for any length of time, if they only could troubleshoot bugs for a week and a half, that would be that would be divine. So, okay, so for those people bopping in just now, what is the pain you're solving for people? What are you doing? What's your software do?
So my software is Schedule.me. So Schedule.me is a Discord bot that allows people to take all the events going in their Discords and put it right into a Google Calendar for them. So Discord, for those of you who don't know what Discord is, it's a social media app. I'd say somewhat akin to Facebook, except there's no news feed. So if you only had basically Facebook groups, and each of those
Yes.
individual groups don't talk to each other, and you get all of these notifications for these groups. And so basically, Schedule.me helps you navigate all of those notifications and takes those events and puts them right in your calendar so that you're not missing those events and that you know what's going on in
I
each
mean,
of
like,
these
how
groups.
big of a problem is this really? Give me some perspective.
I mean, it's a huge problem. I mean, I'm in about 100 servers and I can get 300 to 400 notifications in a day. And
Wow.
so, and that can, so that's really overwhelming. And sometimes it'll be like 20 notifications in one server. And so are you going to really, it gets to be quite a challenge to navigate all of those different.
But what's the problem with that? So, like Jarrett was saying yesterday, he doesn't mess with Discord because it's just chaos and he's not really organized. So, like, you're in 100 different Discords. So what if you miss events? Like, what's the big deal?
Well, especially in crypto and NFTs, missing events means you're missing Ask Me Anythings with founders, and Ask Me Anythings are a really key part of being a smart and educated investor. Because
Mm,
if you don't know what's going on, if you miss an Ask Me Anything, you can miss a really big announcement that's really bullish. And so you could end up being holding a much smaller bag than you wanted to and have the price pump 100 or 200x over a
hmm.
small period of time because there was a really bullish Ask Me Anything. Or on the
Yeah.
other side, you could be you could miss an Ask Me Anything where the founders have a terrible AMA and the
Mm,
price tanks to zero and you're left
wow.
there holding your bag. So you could lose $500. Let's say you invest $500, you could lose $500 right there just by
Mm.
missing that event.
So this actually happened to me. I don't think we talked about this. The writing was on the wall for Wonderland Time. And we had put in about 5 grand, just over a few weeks, few months maybe, and actually, it was closer to 4 grand. And there was a particular AMA that I was just, like, so sick of my Discord notifications, but also, like, if it's a big Discord, your greatest strength is your greatest weakness. In a big Discord, you've got a huge community. So it's like, yeah, these are awesome people. But the downside is that this is a huge community. I don't know what to pay attention to. Like, I suddenly have 4,000 interested friends and it's driving me batshit crazy. So I started avoiding all the announcements. I started muting announcements and stuff. And I missed this AMA where apparently the response was, these guys are lost, they don't know what to do next. Like, how long can the APY remain at 100,000% a year, And I woke up the next day and the thing had lost like 75% of value. And I thought, there's no way. And it happened again. So you're saying, like, if I could have just known, well, I can't make everything in the Discord, but I can at least listen in to, like, the AMAs and stuff. You're just making that easier.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
that you don't have to mute that announce. Like, yeah, you can mute the announcements, but you're
Mm.
still getting that announcement about that new AMA or hey, maybe they've got a partner that's coming in to do an AMA and
Yeah.
they're about ready to launch. So you want to be there so that you can maybe win a whitelist spot or win some pre-sale tokens and potentially get in another project early. And so this
Yeah.
helps you make sure. I don't know if you know the YouTuber Jesse Eckel, but one of the stories that he's told often is about the project Sphere Finance. And
Yeah.
so he was really, really bullish on Sphere Finance. But because he was so busy with everything that he's doing with Obsidian and his YouTube channel, he missed the notification to submit his wallet for wallet connection for the pre-sale.
Oh,
And
wow.
and so he missed out. He couldn't participate in the pre-sale even though he had a whitelist spot because he didn't submit his wallet for wallet collection. He didn't submit it by the
Oh my
deadline.
gosh.
And so Sphere at least doubled from pre-sale to launch.
Oh my
And
god.
so he missed out on doubling his money right there.
Wow.
And so he had to then get in at launch with everyone else when the price immediately pumps.
I remember him posting a video about this, and I did not realize that his problem with this was the problem that you're solving with Schedule.me. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so if he had like if Sphere had made it an event, hey, you got to submit your wallet by this date.
Yeah.
And it's in his calendar, he knows he can't miss it because he's going to check his calendar. He's a busy guy.
Wow.
He looks at his calendar all the time.
That story alone right there would sell, dude. Like, I mean, and knowing Jesse Eckel, he was doing stuff to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars, and being able to double his money, or you never know that, but like missing out on an opportunity where in hindsight, if I had only known that this was an event, and this could actually change Discord server owners' behaviors, because what they might start doing is, well, instead of just hoping that I drop it in this conversational feed and that people pick it up, I just know I'm going to create an event for every important milestone where my people have to take an action and fill in those details, because I can trust that the bot, Schedule.me, is going to actually distribute that to everyone in the Discord, and they get to benefit. They're happier with us,
Exactly.
That's bonkers, man. So do you find that like these partnerships you're creating or setting up, are they getting it? Like, are you having that level of transparent communication and are you seeing the light bulb go on for them?
For some of them, the light bulb's really gone on. People that I really trust, and like we've had a deeper conversation like we're having now.
Yeah.
Are like, oh my God, yeah, like this could be a game changer for Discord and for Discord users, especially in the crypto and NFT space. But not only there, but in the gaming space. If you've got a gaming guild where you guys hold raids or big
raids are
tournaments,
huge.
Big tournaments. Hey, Grant wants to organize a raid. He sets a raid up on the calendar for the group.
Yeah.
And it automatically goes to everybody.
Well, and this is also touching on like a major critique I've had of Discord is exactly that. Like not the raids. I'm not involved in gaming raids. Like there's Twitter raids and stuff like that, but that's kind of different and more chaos driven. But there is this idea of a UX problem with coordinating your people on Discord. In some ways, that's kind of like a feature of Discord. We're all over the world, and we're not going to try to coordinate our schedules. But for some of these super niche Discord servers, like they're all there for an intent and for a purpose. And so coordinating and collaborating with people is like really important. And the event function in Discord is still lackluster. You can't invite specific people. You can't coordinate schedules, but Google Calendar has all of that. And if you're just piping over, you're kind of also solving, at least temporarily, a Discord UX problem, because you're borrowing basically Google's UX of, can I invite other people? Can I get my notifications? Can I see it when I look at my week schedule for planning my life? That's pretty badass, man. So you're really just creating a bridge, right? You're like a crypto bridge. That's super funny, man. So talk to me real quick about like the price point's $7, but it's like for unlimited use in a person's Discord, right?
Yeah, so basically for $7 a month or $60 a year, you can basically have it import all of your events from all of your servers for the whole year. And unlimited. And if you're a Discord server owner, you want to add it to all of your Discords, it costs you nothing.
Yeah, and the caveat there is like, for your Discord bot to work for you as a payer, as a buyer, subscriber, whatever, that server has to also have the bot on the other end, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
They have to have it installed.
Yeah, so you've got to get your server has to have it so that it will pick up the events and it'll go to your calendar. But
yeah,
the reality is that server owners don't have really a reason not to add the bot, because I'm making it free for them.
Yeah,
making it easy, and it's just one click of a button, add it to your server, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Now you've been involved in a lot of projects, but like leaving off of the actual software for a second, like you as a founder, have you thought of yourself as a founder like before this project as an
No,
entrepreneur?
no. I mean, I've never really thought of myself as an entrepreneur or a founder really in any real respect. I helped kind of create little projects or helped with little projects, but nothing really to this scale or this magnitude. And so this is kind of very new space for me.
And like, I mean, you seem like a reader. Are you a reader? I don't even know this about you.
I I read enough. I'm not. My girlfriend definitely reads a lot more than I do, but I definitely read. Yeah.
So like you haven't gone through life fancying yourself or even like looking up to the lifestyle of entrepreneurship.
No, I've got a master's in public policy, and
Oh, that's
I
right. I remember that. Okay.
yeah, so I'm doing a master's in public policy. I never really saw myself going down the entrepreneurial path, but
Interesting.
it
Is
kind
anyone in
of,
your family entrepreneurial?
so my grandfather was a major entrepreneur. He built, rebuilt, and flipped businesses all the time.
Really?
He,
Were you close to him?
yeah, we were really, really close. So he passed away in January this year, but up until that point, we were really close. And he was a very successful entrepreneur. And as I talk to
Really?
my family about like the stuff that I'm doing with Schedule.me, um, people are all my family are like, you sound just like him. And
Really?
yeah,
That's kind of wild. You know what's funny about that? That's actually I never thought about this. My grandfather and my grandmother um, were, believe it or not, entrepreneurial. They had a ranch that they bought in Vero Beach, Florida, here, like in the 70s for like 79 grand and paid off. They've had it for decades. And so you think of them as like down home farmer ranchers, but they had a roofing company, they had a real estate agency, they were real estate investors. And then they had a grove. They put a grove on the property and that produced income. And then they got rid of the grove and did cattle. And so they've always had some entrepreneurial streak. Now, the reason I say that's interesting is their kids, my mother and her sister, and then my parents and my uncles, they all worked normal jobs. They all had no interest. They all had their own form of creativity, but they just wanted normal, normal jobs. But like me, my brothers both have had and go in and out of normal jobs. I've been an entrepreneur all through my 20s, all through my 30s. Now I'm in my 40s, and I haven't worked for someone else for quite some time. And it's interesting on how your story. I never thought about this, but like, I wonder how many people, the Gen Xers, if you will, went into jobs and it just skipped a generation for some sort of social contract thing. Like your uncles, none of them, your aunts, none of them were.
no, most of them work regular jobs.
That's wild.
Everyone kind of just has, they work for someone else.
Now, because of your grandparents' history, did your family give you any friction about this entrepreneurial time?
No, everyone's been really supportive. I've been really lucky. They When I explained the idea to them and kind of was upfront about business costs and everything,
Sure.
everyone was on board. They were all
Wow.
super supportive, and so
That's
I
interesting.
it's kind of a weird thing where none of them pursued it themselves, but
Yeah.
they're very supportive of me pursuing it with my own time.
Now you're still new, right? Like how long have you been actually actively working on Schedule.me?
We've probably been working on Schedule.me for about a month and a half. I had the idea probably about 3 months ago. Some if Kurt and Ghost and Sean, if you guys are in the audience, you guys will remember when I started bouncing this idea off you guys a few months ago. And
Yeah.
then I really kind of jumped on it about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
That's wild. So like, oftentimes with founders, you're like, okay, knowing what you now know, like what would you never do again? And they're like, oh, I'd never do this again, or I'd start with that, or this, that, or the other. But like, you're still kind of fresh to this. Like, do you even have any learnings that have anchored inside of you yet?
I have had some learning. So delegating has been kind of really important.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about, hey, you've got to share some of the responsibility, kind of work on what you're good at, and
Yeah.
find people that are really good at things that you aren't. And
Yeah.
so that's been kind of a really key learning that I've gotten so far. And
Sure.
I think just not trying to rush things. So I was originally going to try to launch Schedule.me at the end of June. And
Yeah.
I realized that I needed to slow down because I was burning myself out. And you've got to kind of take things at a bit of an easier pace to just make sure that you can get to that finish line.
Yeah, there's a paradigm I heard once that the energy for a project is a pie, and it is finite, and the components are time, energy, or money. And either you're not working a job, but you're still working a normal job, you're still holding down the fort, and so there's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of resources. You did a small micro seed round, and now you have a little bit of funding, through some of the banking stuff you talked about. So there's not a lot of money, but there's enough. But money accelerates or decelerates everything, right? And so then there's energy. And that energy is actually probably should be better said to be labor, but we call it TEM, time, energy, money. And you assess a project requires so much, and then you have to assess what of that you have. And then you just have to accept some of the realities. And like, you think about people like Elon or all these people, but like, they have a ton of time and money, right? Like to super accelerate some feature or some roadmap that they're just executing on, So patience, I think, it's the best advice. How old are you now?
I'm going to be 24 in a few weeks, so
So you're not even 25, bro.
No, I'm crazy young. I'm working hard, and I guess in the time, energy, money pie, I'm putting a lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. Yeah, and you're also like resourcing that energy. Part of your seed money went to labor, right? So you have a team of 3 gentlemen from Upwork that are doing some of your development, right? And then you've got volunteers in the Discord who are supporting your efforts, right? Don't you have like a few people helping out?
Yeah, I've got a few people that are helping us do beta testing right now and have been
The
really
beta
helpful
testing.
in bouncing ideas off of. And so I'm really thankful to them. They've been a great help.
A quick bit of advice that I wish I would have taken myself. Having your own book of principles. Because this is not going to be your last startup. We were already chatting about cops or the officer program. We'll touch on that real quick, but like, the learnings you're gaining as principles, like, no, as a founder, this is my learning. This is what I would do again. This is what I'd never do again. In this scenario, I did this. And that's what Ray Dalio has done for his businesses. But like, I think about that thinking, I wish that between projects, I would have taken a siesta and then flipped through my principles and gone, okay, this is how I'm going to execute better next time. Just food for thought on that. So then talk to me. So when you got launch Schedule.me, you and I talked, there was this idea, there was an education idea. What were some of the other things that you were working on are you comfortable with sharing any of this?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about some of the other stuff that I work on.
Yeah.
So I'm already a member of the Obsidian Crime and Investigation team. So I help. For those of you who don't know,
in Toronto?
No,
aren't you in Toronto?
No, I'm in Montreal. So
Montreal. I'm so sorry. In Montreal, though?
No, so this is another kind of international team
Okay.
So we work together to kind of look at scams and crimes in crypto, and so we help basically recover funds from people that's had their money stolen, and so that's kind of one part of what else I've been doing. I've been
Interesting.
helping build that up with a great team of people from the US and Canada and South Africa. And so that's been kind of one of the other projects that I've been working on.
What's like a quick takeaway for that? Like, what's a mistaken paradigm the public has about crypto and scams that you're like, no, if I could just imbue people with this one thought, it's
Crypto is traceable and you can recover stolen crypto. You just need to act and
interesting.
ask
Is
the
there a
right
time
people.
window for that?
It really depends on the crime. It's usually best within the first few weeks, but
You have weeks though. It's not hours.
no, you've got weeks.
What?
Yeah, cops will tell you crypto is untraceable.
Yeah. I knew that.
Crypto is fully traceable. We can figure out where the money that crypto that you got stolen out of your account, or where you sent crypto to a fraudster, we can figure out which account where that went to. And then we can figure
Really?
out whose centralized exchange account it went to. And we can then work with
Interesting.
centralized exchanges to make sure that those scammers don't benefit from it.
That's wild. And if it's an exchange, like there's mechanisms they can freeze funds, and some exchanges are doing not insurance, but like, is there an equivalent to like the FDIC for some of these exchanges?
A few of them, Coinbase and I think Kraken, both have an FDIC kind of type thing
Interesting.
on some of your crypto.
I did not realize that. Blows my mind that you actually have a few weeks even to recover funds. Wow. How long have you been doing that?
I've been working with the team for 4 months now. So
Really?
yeah.
And like, what's your role or your function on this team?
So I'm one of the investigators. I help track a lot of the crypto. I've also been working on developing the training material and our standard operating procedures as part of the team.
Interesting. And then you've also been a moderator in like 45 different discords. Like, really, what's the number?
10 is the real number.
Jeez.
10's the real number. I've not all at the same time,
Sure.
but I've done 10 throughout my time.
And how do you juggle that? Like, is it just like Discord moderating is on my calendar and it's just always the same time block because I can toggle between Discords? Or is like,
More or less, I've got certain time blocks when I need to go to different Discords, or if I've got a little bit of free time, I'll make sure that I hop on to one of the Discords that I'm supposed to be moderating and go answer questions or communicate with the community, or one of the Discords I help do a bunch of the AMAs, and so when there's an AMA, I make sure I hop on. So
yeah. Well, two quick questions here as we kind of approach the half-hour mark here. One, what has been in the month and a half or so that you've been working on this? What is the top lesson you think you have learned about startups or yourself or projects like this?
I think having the right team and that being able to ask for help has been a big thing that I've learned. So before I decided to reach out to you and talk about a little bit of collaboration, so for those of you listening, Grant is my amazing micro seed investor. And
Thanks for that.
had I not reached out to Grant, I would have been trying to do all of the coding myself. And I'm not.
You'd still be coding, bro.
I'd still be coding. I'd still be trying to figure out how to code everything. And
for those watching, let me give you context to that. For those watching, me and Austin were talking, and he and his girlfriend Vic, I said, "What are you guys doing?" And he said, "Well, we're teaching ourselves to code." And first off, like as like just a guy who's been in projects, I'm like, dude, high five, you rallied. And then I thought, his poor girlfriend. I was like, I don't even know if she wants to be doing that mess. And that's one of the things we were happy to be investing in and alleviate from their world. So I just wanted to interrupt for those watching. Like, props to you for having the grit to make that happen, but props to you for saying maybe there's a faster way to do this.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm not a coder. My girlfriend is not a coder. And
Yeah.
we figured, okay, over the summer, we'll try and code this for next 3 months. And hopefully by then, no one will beat us to the market and we'll be ready.
Yeah.
And I talked to you. Had I not talked to you, we would have done that. But
man.
With our conversation, we figured out a much more efficient way. And now we're here and we're ready to launch a month and a half, maybe after that conversation that we had.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting piece of learning. Like if there is a profitable model, a scalable, profitable model, you almost can't take on enough money in order to accelerate timeline. Because speed to market isn't the only thing, but it's a big one. You know, it's not the only thing. You could miss a window. You've got other ventures under your belt that you're ready, or under your hat that you could run with, but speed to market's important, you know. And what is 3 months? That's not long. Well, in crypto it is. Like in Discord.
in the crypto world, 3 months is forever.
Oh yeah.
Like in the business world, you could equate like 3 months in like as like almost three years.
Sure.
At least 3 to 5 years in real business world. That's 3 months in crypto.
Yeah.
And so
man.
You can't drag your feet for 3 months.
And testament to this. So you know that we've been firing up this other show, Not Crypto Bros. And we've had a great time, me and Jarrett and Jay, we've had a great time doing this. And what we do is we come up with a content plan for that show. So like episode 4 just came out. 3 just came out. And we had this whole list of things we were going to talk about. We got to a few of the items and we said, well, you know, we'll get to these other items next week. Like 24 hours goes by and the entire script has changed. So like one example is Voyager was one of these platforms that was totally imploding because of the Three Arrows venture capital collapse and they went bankrupt. And so we were talking about, are people going to get their funds back? Well, we'll save that for next week. The next day, it was like it had rallied 500% because they were actually going to recover their funds from a court order. That's how fast this stuff is moving. And it's the same with developing solutions. It's like, is this even a problem anymore? And it's like, well, let's get it out there. Let's get it in people's hands and let's figure it out, you know?
Exactly.
That's great. So, okay, last question. And we'll let you get back to developing and getting ready for maybe launching tonight. What's advice you have for anyone out there who might not have had their own entrepreneurial journey yet, but they have an idea? Do you have any advice for starting people?
I would say if you've got an idea, spend some time looking at it. Spend time thinking about how to work. Bounce the idea off friends. Try and see if you can get people close to you that you trust to understand your idea and see the value in the idea based on how you're pitching it.
That's good.
Because your friends will be very honest with you if an idea is not going to work or if an idea is going to work.
Yeah.
And so I think by pitching that, you can decide, especially I'm an idea guy. I come up with a lot of ideas, but a lot of them aren't really viable business features.
Not great.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't
I've been
great.
there.
And so by spending the time and making sure an idea is solid, you can then feel confident just putting that energy and putting the work to get that idea off the ground.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to put some hard work, spend some time, work on it. Because really, if you're passionate about it, it'll help everyone else believe in the project that much more.
Yeah. Yeah, the people can sense your energy. Was this just a passing whim and you want me to act on it? Or are you actually passionate about this? Hey, they're down. People like to get on board with where the passion's at, where the energy's at, for sure. Well, everyone, this has been Austin Rikley, founder of Schedule.me. If you want more information, if you want to follow along the journey, check out helpschedule.me. Join the Discord. Yes, there is a Discord. We're going to be posting updates there. The launch is soon. There's a founders list. You can put your name in, subscribe, follow there. We'll be launching soon. But if nothing more, shout out, give a word to Austin, encourage him, let him know what's going on, because even though he's a new founder, he's got a lot of good momentum. So thank you for being here, dude. Stick around. And for those watching or checking in now, keep checking back, because we're going to keep checking in with Austin and follow his founder's journey. So thanks so much, man.
Thanks for having me.
And everyone else, have a great